Well, praise the Lord, everybody. Welcome to On Point, the number one Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America, live every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on any smart device at David G. Evans 1. We are so glad you've decided to join us as we have another telling conversation about the things that are going on in the world, but always from a kingdom, a biblical perspective. We'd love to talk to you today. You can give us a call toll-free from any location, 866-743-8267, 866-743-8267, 866-747-Evans. Give us a call. We talk faith, we talk politics, and of course, post-Super Bowl, we'll talk sports today. But we talk events, those things that because our callers call from all over the country, we can get you a ground level understanding of what's going on in particular states, as well as a national point of view and an international point of view. So we want you to like us, subscribe to us, invite a couple people, tag a few folk, and invite them to join us here on Point today. We're looking forward to another great conversation. Our world-famous co-host, Reverend Nicholas A. Smith, is with us today.
Yes, good morning.
How you doing, man?
I'm okay, hanging in there.
Yeah, man, that's all you can do, man.
Yeah,
you
right.
just gotta do what you gotta do.
Keep going.
Yeah, it does what it does.
Right.
I
know.
It does what it does, man.
I know, right.
It's just it's a crazy world going on here, man.
I'm like, it feels like that 2017 all over again.
You know,
just a little more intense.
Yeah. You know what's really strange though? I hope people are not being distracted by the distractions that are being presented.
Mm-hmm.
All this cutting
Yep.
is not about the betterment
Mm-hmm.
of the people.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about the betterment of the government. It's the only thing they can do without congressional approval.
Mm-hmm.
They're willing to take these actions and deal with the protests afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
But by the time the protests get through the court system, all these thousands of people will have lost their jobs.
Mm-hmm.
But the funding that is to be saved, it doesn't make sense. You go through a budget, you see $30,000 on a $100 million budget, and you say that's wasteful spending.
Yep.
That's silly. So the ultimate goal is to make sure there's money available for these tax cuts that are coming.
Yep.
For those that are supporting him right now, and that's why they're kissing up to him the way they are.
Mm-hmm.
So we're about to see a bunch of tax cuts, because I don't know if most of our listeners understand, in government there's no new money.
Yep.
So there are pots of money that in order to increase spending somewhere, you have to pull the money out of another pot.
Mm-hmm.
So we're watching all of these, and it usually happens with Republican administrations. They start cutting services to people.
Yep.
So you're going to watch the urgent cares in rural areas get cut. You're going to watch food stamps get cut. You're going to watch, and you're going to watch a whole lot of stuff happen. They're going to shift money, responsibility back to the states, which means the responsibility for spending the money is no longer on the federal government.
Yep. It's on the states.
So it's on the states. So it's out of the pockets of the federal government. So right now you're going to watch how all these cuts are being made, and that people that don't know better are celebrating until the cut impacts them.
Yep. I was telling you about that video I saw yesterday. Somebody was interviewing 2 teachers in, I think, Alabama, I believe it was, or Arkansas, one of them. And a third of their budget comes from federal aid.
Absolutely.
And they're concerned that with these cuts, the kids won't have the proper lunches and et cetera and da-da-da.
The party doesn't care about that.
They don't care. And they asked them, well, who did you vote for? We voted for Donald Trump because he's going to make America great again.
How?
Right. They said, but we didn't vote for this. And the people were
They
like,
did.
yes, you did. He told you this is what he was going to do.
Yeah.
But you voted because you were so worried about a trans person over here that, you know what I'm saying?
It
or
makes no
DEI
sense.
over here.
It makes no sense.
Yeah.
And this shows you the simplicity of people's thinking, how it's not strategic at all. Okay, I see you're saying you're going to do all this stuff. But I have nothing but my strong feeling to validate that you're not going to do anything that's going to affect me.
Yep.
Even if you say it, you're not talking about us.
Yep.
That is amazing to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it shows a single-heartedness, single-minded devotion to self.
Yep.
And now you've got all these people that are having these issues
Mm-hmm.
because, well, I didn't think he was going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So the Cuban population in Florida
Mm-hmm.
is all up in arms because they have had complexion proximity, they think,
Yep.
for all these years and did not believe that they were going to be included in any of this.
Mm-hmm.
And they're getting smoked like everybody else
Mm-hmm.
who's not white.
Yep. Because aren't they're like taking people in and asking questions later?
Absolutely.
They're not even concerned to check with your stuff first.
But here's the stuff. Here's the thing. If you're in process,
Mm-hmm.
you're undocumented.
Yep.
So people are watching their relatives
Mm-hmm.
get arrested, can't do a thing about it, and they're not concerned with the lawsuits. They're not concerned with it.
Not at all. Not at all. And they're thinking, well, he's here for us.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
They did come for you.
Yeah, right. he's here to help us. Like,
Yeah.
yes, just as you think.
It's amazing to me how, and I've been watching some videos because I wanted to see the reaction of those people who thought they were excluded from this.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I saw in these contemporary times the same racial or colorism division
Mm-hmm.
that we had back in the 50s and 60s.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm watching lighter complected Latinos, Mexicans, Cubans that didn't consider themselves
Yep.
to be people of color.
Mm-hmm.
But now they're finding out, they're becoming the new Negroes in the United
Yeah.
States.
They don't care where you from.
No.
If you look brown, they don't care.
They're the new Negroes. They don't
Yeah.
understand it.
Yeah.
And the Negroes, in the old sense, are all different complexions. So,
Yeah.
they got a problem.
Yeah. Y'all concerned about we don't like Mexicans, we don't like Puerto
They
Ricans.
didn't
And
like
some
us.
infighting within.
They didn't
and
like us.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
But the voting bloc that a lot of people are saying that the Republicans were screaming about rigged elections, and they rigged this one because when the numbers flattened out, she wasn't nearly as far behind as they thought.
No, she wasn't.
Okay.
She didn't lose by that much.
No. So they're not talking about that.
Yeah.
They're saying a mandate and all this other stuff. But when you get the final numbers, that was a problem. But the big deal is about 85 or 90% of African Americans voted for Mrs. Harris, male, female. And now the Latinos and Hispanics are saying that, we need you guys to come help us now. And a lot of black folk are saying,
Y'all
we
wasn't
tried to
helping us. Yeah.
we tried to tell you,
tell you.
tried to help you. You didn't want to be even connected with us. But now that the shoes has hit the ground, it's like,
Yeah.
are you guys coming to help us? And a lot of people are not inclined to do so right now.
And that population of Asians who the whole affirmative action thing and try to,
Yep.
they didn't let you in school.
Nope.
We've been here for a long time. We know
Yeah.
how this works.
Yeah.
But again,
Yeah.
like you said, they
The
saw
civil
it.
rights movement
Yeah.
that black people spearheaded included everybody.
Everybody.
that was cast aside.
Everybody.
All marginal people.
Yep.
And then the people that benefited from that movement started to separate themselves from the very people that spearheaded the movement.
Absolutely.
That was incorrect.
It was.
And so there is a bit of resentment on some people's part. I don't have this problem. I think that the collective good
Yep.
always requires you to pick up folk that have changed their
Absolutely.
mind.
Absolutely.
You may not like it,
The bigger picture.
but the bigger picture is
Yeah.
if we don't do this and don't bring them in, the needle doesn't move.
Yeah. Because how is that helping us if all this fails?
That's right. It doesn't.
It doesn't help you at all.
If all the work and the lives spent and the time spent and the effort spent and being very aware that people were watching black people get killed in the street by police and all this other kind of stuff. They've witnessed the discrimination. One of the most telling interviews that I saw was when a woman was in front of an audience that was predominantly white, and she's asking a bunch of questions. They're talking about race, and she says, "Okay, I got one question to ask everybody in here.
Oh, yeah.
Would you want to wake up tomorrow and be African American?" And the room fell silent, which meant
They know.
they had an idealistic view,
Yep.
but they knew the reality, and they did not want to be a part of that.
Nope. Nope.
So you watch Cubans and Latinos, some, not all.
Yeah.
We don't want any part of you guys. But now that they've been thrown away,
Yep.
we need your help.
Yep.
And black folk are famous for not doing to you what was
Yep.
done to them.
Yep.
Absolutely famous.
And they're scared that if we get in charge, quote unquote in charge, which it never really is,
Yeah.
that we're going to do the same thing. We're not
No,
like
no,
that.
we're not like that at all. And it was that you bring that up. I remember after President Trump was elected the first time, and I told you about this guy that I know very well. I've been working out with him for like 3 years. Thought I knew him pretty well.
Yeah.
Intelligent guy, owns his own computer company, whole 9 yards. And he just asked me, "How do you feel?" I said, "What do you mean?"
Yeah.
"Well, how do you feel?" I said, "I feel fine." "Why?"
Yeah.
He said, "You know, we're in charge again." And that's when I said, "You thought we thought
Yeah.
we were in charge for 8 years?
Mm-hmm.
You actually thought that?"
Yep.
And he looked at me like, I said, "I gave you credit for more intelligence than that."
Yeah.
And he just kind of walked away, man.
Yeah.
You thought we were in charge because we had a black president. So you got a white president now. You guys are in charge again.
Yeah.
That was the most revealing thing that man had ever said to me in
It
3
was.
years.
There's a college professor that did this test about the need to feel superior.
Okay.
So he asked the class, "Hey, would you rather have a job where, say, for example, you make $250,000 a year, everybody else on the job makes $350,000,
Okay.
or would you rather have a job where you make $40,000 a year and everybody else makes $35,000 or $25,000 a year?" Half the class chose the $40,000 a year job.
Because they made more than the other person
Yes, they gave up they would choose a $40,000 a year job.
over 250,000.
Ju-
Wow.
The need to make more than everybody else
Wow.
mattered more than the amount of money you made.
Wow.
And it showed that need to be superior is so strong in people. Even if it's a church context.
Right.
I can't sit under another leader.
Right.
So I'd rather have two people in this church over here and pastor these two people
Yep.
than serve a person.
Doesn't make any sense.
He was flabbergasted. The teacher was flabbergasted.
I'm sure he was.
But to me, that shows the human, the satanic, the pride of
Yep.
having to be self,
Yep.
God,
Idolize yourself.
yourself. Yes.
It's an unfortunate part of human nature.
Yeah.
You know, Satan had a need to feel superior. And in his mind, he says, "I'm going to be just like God." So his desire was, he was uncomfortable with his position.
Yep.
And we've said for years, I think that was Joseph's brother's problem in the dream.
Yeah.
So much so that they ignored the fact that in his dream, each of them had their own harvest.
Yep. Yeah. And missed that whole premise.
I'm missing the blessing totally
Yep.
because I don't like my position in the dream.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Unbelievable.
And they do it all the time. We talked about it. Poor whites and black folk were getting along too much. So let's make these poor whites, slave field people
Yep.
in charge, put them on horses.
Yep.
They still poor, still
But you're up on a horse.
unequal, but you up on the horse. You're not them.
And you know, part of the
Yeah.
issue with slavery was black people were not allowed to ride horses.
Yep.
Because that would put them in the elevated position.
Yep. If I make you feel superior, we're both in the same situation for the most part.
Yeah.
With some differences, but
Yeah.
so it's okay for one group to be on welfare, but another one.
Well, you know,
It's-
it's how when I look at how the whole DEI marketing presentation was crafted, and I still think it was evil, but it was absolutely brilliant. That people in their general consciousness, when they hear DEI, they think African American.
Yep.
They don't know that African Americans are 7th on the list of who benefits from it.
Yep.
White females benefit the most
Yep.
from DEI. But when you say DEI, people don't think white female.
Put a black
They don't
face on
think
it.
Asians.
Nope.
They don't think gay folk. They don't think veterans. They think it was one of the most skillful marketing efforts I've ever seen.
Absolutely.
And it's so that even we think black folk when we hear DEI,
Yep.
unless we know better.
Yes, we know better, yep. And I'm glad you brought up veterans, because you're right. This big layoff they just did, a whole lot of them were laid off were veterans. Now, we were told, support our troops.
That's right.
Support our vets. And you just laid a bunch of them off.
All the time. And there's this blanket immunity for police officers that they're trying to put in force or have already written into law. Which the entire scope of things, in my mind, is ultimately aimed at African Americans.
Yeah.
You know, so what do you do? So Hispanics were quickly becoming the largest minority. Latin America, all those, they were becoming the largest minority in the country. So what do? I got to get rid of 30 million of guys. I got to get you out of here, regardless of the rights you think you have. We're not concerned about your rights. We just need you out of the voting block.
Yeah. Divide and conquer.
And they went for it.
They did, yeah. And groups are too busy fighting each other, missing what's really going on.
All the way from the slavery fields to now.
Yep.
Get the folk that are oppressed to divide among themselves. Okay.
Yep.
866-743-8267, 866-743-8267. This is On Point, the #1 Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America. We've got Scott from Vineland, New Jersey. We've got Danny from Lauderhill, Florida. We've got Tom from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Let's go to Scott. Good morning, Scott. How you doing?
Scott.
Bishop Evans, Pastor Nick, what's happening?
How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man.
Did you go to the parade?
Nah, it's too many people in
Yeah,
Hubbard and too many people. And me and I had a guy ask, boy, because of COVID, I said, sir, me and my fiance was like that. Even before COVID was thought of, I've never liked people all up my back.
That's a whole lot of them, man.
Yeah, a whole bunch of them.
And the best seat was in your living room watching on TV. You know that, right?
Yes, sir. Even better place, I was at work making money while I was watching. You know, Pop Shelton taught me that years ago. I used to get mad at gamers on. We all know how he was, especially you, Bishop. He said, look, come here. He said, as plain as could be. You know how he was. He said, are you making any money watching those guys? You know? So I was at work making money watching it. But before I get into that, Bishop, again, I want to reflect on your past sermons. Me and I got so tickled. You would say I was literally newly saved.
Yeah.
Your exact words. You must have Dennis that he was good and saved. Me and I got so tickled, but we listened to that sermon over and over again. And
yeah, Dennis. Yeah, he gone on to be with the Lord now.
Okay, God bless him. But that part, and I got out when you had your restaurant business. I didn't know about that until your past sermon, of course, and how the Lord will supply all your needs.
Absolutely.
When you give up and come to Him, He'll supply them and multiply them. And let me stop before I start preaching. But that was that was an amazing sermon, and how you just break things down, Bishop.
I appreciate that, man. Let me ask you a question about the game.
Yes.
Was there ever a time during the game, that you were insecure about the Eagles' lead?
I think when they went up 17-0, I said that's still not a big enough of a margin, because we saw we know what the Chiefs are capable of doing.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, let me ask you and Pastor Nick, when did you think it was over? And I'll let you know when I thought it was over.
Halftime.
Okay. What about you, Pastor Nick? When did you feel it?
For me, is when Jalen hit Devontae in that long deep bomb.
Yes.
Because we've seen teams come back at halftime and win the game.
True.
So I was
Absolutely.
like, look, my nerves was there. I was like,
you know why I thought?
Yeah.
They were beating that offensive lineup
so
severely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Then I'm like, okay, these guys are not going to be at full speed for the second half. They just can't do it.
My thought was, hey, they got the blueprint. When the Patriots were down 28-3, they got the ball the second half, and they just start running the ball, taking their time. And they came back and won the game. And they made no adjustments in the second half. It was like
old Andy Reid.
Yes, I'm like, dude, you
It was old Andy Reid. Because I'm thinking, okay, you're going to come out.
Yeah.
They're going to make a few adjustments.
Something.
But I think they had game plan for the wrong people.
They did.
They did.
They game plan for Saquon. They game plan for the quarterback not to throw the ball much. They
The whole
No.
the game plan was just
None.
all messed up, blown out.
And
blown up.
you made a point, Pastor Nick. I've never seen Mahomes so dazed looking in my life.
Yes,
he
that's
was
what I was
gone.
gonna say. That's
The
why I knew it
mystique
was
he was gone.
They were on him like a wet, cheap
Yes.
suit.
Yeah.
See, I've never seen him hit so much.
Oh,
And see
man.
that's where I think Brady distinguishes himself over every other quarterback.
Okay.
No matter how down he was,
Okay.
he had that look in his eye.
Well, I'm going to
Yeah.
win this thing.
Like even if they lose, I'm gonna go down fighting.
yeah,
Yes.
And that mystique was not gone. It was like, even if they were down,
Yeah.
they lost big, but his eyes were like,
I'm coming.
This wasn't
yeah,
in the
it's
script.
yeah,
Yeah, halftime I was like, they're actually going to win this.
yeah.
I think my two, when I kind of knew, it may sound funny, the second hit on Patrick, just like Pastor Nick was saying, piggyback off but your comment, he looked like he didn't know what was going on. And number two, when our rookie, Coop,
Yeah.
when Coop got that pick
Yeah.
and ran it back, I'm like, you know what? They're not used to this. It's when they was up bottom line, they was up like 34, whatever, 0. I said, Fat Leg can start warming her pipes up.
Now, how many times did they sack Mahomes?
5 times.
Okay.
5.
I thought that the real problem for him was they were just disturbing him almost every
the whole-
play.
yeah.
They
Yes.
just every
He
time
couldn't- he couldn't set up.
couldn't do nothing.
they were
Set up.
just, it was harassment, man.
He was seeing ghosts. And
He was hearing footsteps, as they used to say.
Yeah. But you could see the
Yeah.
team, the Chiefs were giving up. They had that
Yep.
look in their eyes that after a while, they're just like, dude, we just can't.
Can't stop him.
But
Yep.
C.J. Gardner-Johnson said this. Now, this is not an excuse, but it's just partially real. The first, when they played 2 years ago,
Okay.
and they lost to the Chiefs.
Okay.
Remember the field was like they were slipping and sliding the whole game.
like they were this time.
Yes.
C.J. Gardner-Johnson said, that first game we would have won. Put us on turf. And that's when they put them on turf on Sunday,
Yeah.
and they saw what happened. Now, again, both teams had to deal with it the first time. So you can't blame that.
Was that the Chiefs' field the first time?
No, they were in Arizona.
Okay.
Arizona.
And they were slipping and sliding that Super Bowl.
And they weren't ready for it.
Yeah, because Eagles, their whole defense is based off the front four.
Yeah, they got to be able to dig
But
in.
if they can't dig in because
Yeah.
they're slipping,
Yeah.
the field was bad in general. But
And they didn't bring
It
any
was.
shoes. They didn't bring any shoes to make the adjustment.
yeah, the
No.
NFL wanted to try this special field. The first game,
Okay. Okay.
but they put it on turf, and it was. I didn't expect that much of a beatdown.
Nobody did. I was
you know what I was.
like,
You know what I was saying the whole time.
You had to.
They're gonna have to jump on them,
Yeah.
put their foot in their neck, not
keep it
let it
going.
up, and when the second half come out, jump on them again.
Yep.
Put their foot on their neck.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Because nobody
I
beats
knew-
them like that.
Look, I wouldn't.
I knew it was-
I wouldn't have put the second string in. I'd have kept the
Me too.
first.
I'd have kept it.
Yeah, just beat them down.
Yeah. But if you looked
Darn,
at
Bishop.
if you watched, I would have did the same thing.
Yeah,
too.
beat them down.
If you look at the mic'd up,
Because I got scared when they started scoring. I'm like, wait a minute now.
yeah, it don't because a few little mistakes could
Come on
have.
now.
Jalen said, he's like, dude, this is like fourth quarter. He's like, are you finally gonna smile? He said, nah, man. He said that last Super Bowl changed me.
That's right.
Yeah.
He said, I'm not smiling until it hits 0.
And he barely smiled after it was
Right,
over.
barely. He
Yup.
did.
He's just so built differently.
He's
I'm
stoic.
like,
He's stoic.
Yeah.
He's stoic.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
that's all.
He's just so laser focused. But
Yeah.
fellas, we are world champs, and continue to pray for Nye. She sends her love. I got all kind of Eagles gear if I need any more. I brought pennants into my janitor closet at work. And, man, I'm like a little kid in the candy store.
Lord have mercy.
But love you guys.
All right,
and
Scott.
We're world champs.
Talk to
Talk
you.
to you later.
Bye-bye. We're going to Danny on line 6. Good morning, Danny.
Good morning, Bishop, Pastor Nick,
Morning.
staff. How y'all doing?
How you doing, man?
I feel good. I gave you the formula to the win and what have you, and the Eagles played as a team.
They sure
a
did.
team, not individuals,
Yep.
but as a team. And I have to say that defense, more than enough.
Wins
Yeah.
championships.
Yeah.
That
Absolutely.
defense is something else. And the thing about it is that you didn't have one person rushing. You had 4 individuals. No matter where Mr. Mahomes decided he was going to move, he had somebody after him.
Yeah.
So that was something that they were not accustomed to. They couldn't deal with, and they couldn't make the adjustments.
I thought I like real aggressive defensive lines.
There you go.
Yeah,
There you go.
I like to see that in a game, and there was
Can't
no
score, you
need for
can't
them.
win.
There was no need for them to bring up the linebackers or anything, and they just. And that was old style football, actually. You know.
And when you brought those linebackers up, interception time.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. How's my sister doing?
Blessed and highly favored.
Praise the Lord.
How did I know you? How did I know you were going to say that, man?
Yeah. But
So what's the climate as far as the deportations are concerned? I understand Miami-Dade County, very high concentration of immigrants, and I understand that ICE is doing a very aggressive job down there. Is that true?
yes, and what's happening is that you have people that are not all of a sudden not showing up to work.
Okay.
Your population has disappeared. You're having automobile accidents where you have an accident, but certain parties are not there. Owners of vehicles disappear.
They're walking
When the police
away?
come,
Wow.
yes, they're gone,
Wow. Leaving the car right there.
leaving it there because they're finding out that they were people that came in that didn't have proper papers and what have you.
Okay.
They just disappear.
Wow.
And I told you before about the situation with the roofing and what have you, where the governor is mandating that if you decide to replace your roof, it has to be a tile or a steel roof.
Interesting. Now, why is he doing that?
Because he claims that it's in the long run that a hurricane will not have an effect on the steel and the tile roof as what it was with the shingles.
So, have you all seen that to be true? I mean, you guys live in a hurricane state, so is that history prove that out?
No, Bishop, you give me a tile roof. I'm going to go for the tile. I sacrifice to it and go with the tile and what have you, because with the shingles as such, they will blow away.
Right.
The tile is heavier, so it's going to hold my roof. It's going to put a little bit more weight. Now, it may not endure all the way, but it is, for a small hurricane or something like that, there's such a thing that it will give me some protection.
Yeah.
The problem with a hurricane, what people don't realize, is that there's so many tornadoes that are in that, where you can actually see it. And I can remember a hurricane that we were involved with, where we lost our roof, where we could look down the street and we could actually see the tornado coming down.
Wow.
And it was like a spinning top.
It just
It was just hopping.
picks up stuff as it goes down the street, right?
Right, exactly, Bishop, exactly.
Must be amazing.
And the thing about it is that, like you said, that you have to be aware of people and that try to take advantage of you after it's all over with, when you think you're getting help.
Yeah.
It was like 3 years before we were able to recover.
Really?
Yes. We endured. In fact, what I feel sorry for is that I see in our area where people still have tarps.
Wow.
Even now?
Even now. Even they can't afford it.
Jeez.
Wow.
And you have people that are renting, that are complaining where the roof is leaking and the whoever owns the property is not taking care of it. It's so costly.
Now, are the repairs more costly there than any other part of the country, or is it workmanship? Is it that insurance companies are not? Because I know roofs up here run around $15,000-$20,000, depending on
That's
the size
cheap.
of your house.
That's cheap. That's cheap.
That's cheap.
That's cheap.
What?
That's cheap.
Jeez.
What do you mean that's cheap?
I'm talking about $50,000
For a roof?
for a tile roof.
Wow. Because we use mostly
Shingles
up
and stuff,
here.
yeah.
Shingles, right?
So
Exactly.
that's the difference.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
$50,000.
That's crazy.
Yes.
Most homeowners can't afford that.
No.
Thank you. Thank you.
No.
Thank you.
And I'm sure the insurance companies don't want to insure that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now
you see the
we're
picture.
because we're thinking from a northern $15,000, $20,000 roof, which is still money.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you're talking 50 grand?
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
So
Wow.
what happens when the adjuster comes out to your home, and what does the insurance company offer you? They say, okay, well, we'll give you $15,000.
On a 15.
What about
Huh?
what about the rest of it? But I had a tile roof.
So the homeowner has to pick that up or either put a tarp over the top and live with it, right?
There you go.
We know you're a man of means, so you were able to handle the whole problem. So we're not talking about regular folk here.
Bishop, what I did, and I thank God that I did not accept the offer that they offered to me.
Okay.
We had to bite the bullet.
Okay.
And what happened is that the material we had to wait on the material. We had to wait to get the color that we needed, and we had to wait. So in the whole process, it was a 3-year process.
Jeez.
Wow. Dan, thank you for that, letting us know,
Mhm.
man.
Mm-hmm.
So the immigration thing is really as aggressive as we're seeing on the news.
Yes, it is. And like
Okay.
I said, you have people that are all of a sudden disappearing. The problem is who's going to pick the crops, who's going to finish the construction. You go downtown, and these people have just disappeared.
This effort, if they just do 30 million people, and that's a lot of people, is a $96 billion effort.
Yep.
$96 billion to get people out
I don't see how that's
that you
efficient.
can't replace.
Yeah.
That's not efficient.
It's not efficient.
But they're talking about wasting money. But what the government says when they're doing something like that, they see it as a good use of funds.
Almost like the president going to the Super Bowl for an hour, and it costing almost $20 million for him to go down there.
Ridiculous. They're trying to save money, though,
Trying to
right?
save money, though.
Okay.
But you're right. But USC AIID is the problem, and they're 1% of the budget.
1%. We got a problem. All right, Danny. Thank you, man.
Be blessed. Be
Talk
blessed.
to you. This is On Point, the #1 Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Any smart device, why don't you like us, subscribe us, hit that notification bell so you know every time we have a broadcast. We're looking forward to talking to Tom from Fort Lauderdale and Beverly from Clementon. 866-743-8267. That's 866-743-8267. 866-74-EVANS. Give us a call, toll-free from anywhere from your location. Let's go to Tom, and then we're going to Beverly. Tom's on 4. Hey, Tom, how you doing?
Good morning, Bishop. How you doing, Pastor Nick?
All right, man. How you doing?
Pretty good, Bishop. I'll talk about what's going on down here with the immigration.
Okay.
But first, you were talking about, the skin color and being perceived as one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Ted Cruz and our Secretary of State, Rubio, you can't tell me that a lot of white people know that they're Cuban because they go for white.
Gotta know it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they may know it, but they don't look at them as being Cuban as much as them being white.
Absolutely.
And they almost pass themselves as a white guy. Now,
But it shows their selfishness because they're willing to be a part of an administration that's shipping their people back to Cuba.
they just Uncle Sam wants to no longer allow direct flights into Cuba. That just came out yesterday or Thursday, and for what reason?
What reason?
They claim that anytime we go there, we're putting money into their economy. And they were interviewing Cubans down in Miami. One lady goes, "Look, my mother's sick, and I'm going to visit. So this is one of the last flights I can get in, to go see her." And it's like, this is more for publicity, I think, than anything else.
It's supposed to distract the public from the fact that these agencies are being stripped down so that the administration has money for the tax breaks for the top 0.5 or 1% in the nation. He's taking care of his guys. But believe me, at the end of the day, I don't believe he's just being benevolent. I believe there's some way he's going to benefit from the things that are happening.
Oh, I agree totally.
Yeah, just you know, and all this coziness, all of a sudden, this weakening of our security, this all of a sudden not caring about vets, all this stuff that weakens our posture, that makes us more vulnerable, almost like you're just leaving the back door open for Putin and his people and some other folk to...
The FBI, CIA, he is routing those people out.
Department of Justice? Yep.
Yes, it's unbelievable.
It is absolutely certain that it is not about him caring for the country. It cannot be. His cabinet picks don't look as though he cares about the country.
Yep.
Because why would you put unqualified people in? But here's the thing: he's not hiring them for expertise. He's hiring them for loyalty.
I saw somebody wrote down. He talks about diversity and being put in place. He goes, his whole cabinet wouldn't make it if you had to go through actual.
There's no way.
This is something else too. Something a little different here in Florida, and how crazy it is. Florida State University.
Yeah.
The president's going to leave at end of the year, so the governor decided, you know what? I'm going to make him leave now, and I'm going to appoint my assistant governor in that spot.
Why?
The only problem is the students come out and go, she's not Dr. somebody. She went here, she has a degree, but she doesn't have a master's or a doctorate, and now she's going to lead this school?
That's not supposed to happen.
Well, they said she's qualified.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
How you been feeling, Tom? You good?
Good. But I have to ask you this question.
Go ahead.
What do you think about the halftime show, and what do you think about the mayor of New York?
Well, I slept through the halftime show, so I can't really talk about that. But I have been watching a few YouTubes and seeing what they say are subliminal messages that were trying to be portrayed.
I'm like you. I almost turned it off.
Well,
I didn't like it.
I slept through it. I didn't.
Same thing here, but
I'm not a hip hop fan. But.
Yeah, likewise. But I rewatched it after I read what he was trying to get across, and the man. I understand why he's got 22 Grammys, a Pulitzer.
Oh yeah, he's a poet.
Kendrick's the greatest rapper out right now. So I mean,
is he?
Yeah. They're getting the younger group in too, because
that was the portrayal was when I got a chance to watch it later.
Yeah.
The portrayal was artistic to the nth degree.
Yes, he's very artistic.
Yeah.
And have Uncle Sam Jackson come out as Uncle Sam.
Oh, that was unbelievable.
They were on the biggest stage telling people, hey, we here.
Yeah. Yeah, it was amazing.
And what's going on with the mayor?
Well, he cut a deal.
Did Trump tell him?
He cut a deal.
Yeah, if you do this, I'll...
Absolutely.
So that's what happened. Okay.
I'm going to get it erased.
Okay.
And you guys can, you can do. We'll cooperate with the immigration thing, and what no different than what I hear allegedly is the reason that Snoop performed.
Okay.
His buddy was in jail.
And he got him off. Yeah.
And he got him a pardon.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
Because I just saw that this morning about all of a sudden the DOJ in New York, they all of a sudden are resigning.
Yeah, they're getting out. They said we're not doing it.
Okay.
They said we're not doing it.
Okay.
You want us to do this? We're not doing it. And the guy doesn't want to go to jail. The mayor doesn't want to go to jail.
Sure.
He said, I want you guys to cooperate.
He went to Mar-a-Lago.
But here's what it is. As soon as they get done with that dude in New York, they're going to throw him away.
They're going to throw him away, yeah. That's true.
Yep.
Yeah, they are. They are. Here's my thing. In the past, they used to do this stuff in private. They're doing it in plain sight for everybody to see. Don't care. Like you said, they're just...
Because all the people that he's using to do it are disposable to him.
Yes. That's true.
I mean, how many people we've seen him with all around the world, and then when trouble breaks out, he says, I barely know him.
Right. That's true. Anytime you let your lawyer go to jail.
Doc.
Doc. Come on.
And then act like you don't even know him.
Who determines what? I've been saying it for years.
Yeah.
All right, man. Talk to you, Tom.
Hey, take care.
See you, Tom.
Beverly. Bev. Wait a minute, we got a problem. Beverly's on line 5. Oops, lost her. Bev, call back. We had a problem. Technical difficulty. 866-743-8267, 866-743-8267. Now, what is the big deal with USAID? What happened?
It helps people. And I've seen these people touting these lies online about they're using all this money, government money, for people to do commercials and da-da-da-da. And they're debunking and saying, no, that's not true. So the person who's in charge of USAID, one of the people in charge, said, look, with this spending freeze y'all just did, we got $500 million worth of food that's going to perish.
Right.
They got rid of them. Because he came out and said, you already have money set aside for it.
Yeah.
But again, like you said, it's cutting off these social programs.
Absolutely.
1% of the budget, though.
That's not a big expenditure.
And then they tried to do the whole buy Elon Musk Teslas for $400 million, and now all of a sudden they're backing out of it, supposedly.
You know, but here's my problem. You have an immigrant who's anti-immigrant. You've got an Appalachian vice president who apparently does have no sympathy for people that are growing up in the same kind of conditions he has. You've got the top two leaders in the country married to immigrants. So, if Mrs. Vance, if her parents were not citizens at the time, does that make her illegal? Is Barron illegal?
Because you said birthright citizenship.
Is Barron illegal?
That's the thing. It's like, come on.
This thing is so blatantly, you know, it's unbelievable.
I know.
I must say to myself at least 3 times a day, is this possibly the same America that I grew up in? This is so different.
And backwards.
Oh,
Because part of me is like, because we thought we were over some of this stuff.
what is that I said a couple years ago? We've been on a journey,
Yeah.
but we haven't traveled very far. Okay. All right, we got Beverly back. Let's get her. Hey, Bev.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Hi, Bishop. Hi, Pastor.
Hi.
How you doing?
How you doing?
All right. What's on your mind this morning?
Well, first of all, I want to speak on immigration.
Okay.
You have to excuse me. I'm losing my voice for some reason.
Mm.
Anyway, back in the 90s, I spent several months when U.S. Senator Robert Torricelli was in office.
Mm-hmm.
I spent several months working in his office. And prior to that, I had no idea what they did in those congressional offices.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I found out that about 95% of the constituent services that they handled was immigration matters.
Really?
And can I tell you, it was absolutely reprehensible the way these immigrants were being treated by ICE.
Okay.
I mean, it seemed to me like they went out of their way to make these people's lives a living hell.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to get their green cards renewed or trying to get visas for people to come into this country, trying to get their student visas renewed.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't take long for me to realize that when immigrants have come into this country, they come with the best of intentions. I don't think they come in this country and say, okay, as soon as I get here, I'm just going to disappear.
Mm-hmm.
But what has happened since in the last several decades, most of the people coming into this country are people of color. And they had made becoming citizens so cotton-picking difficult that I think that they figured that these people would get discouraged and leave.
Mm-hmm.
Because it literally takes years. I'm talking about 15, 20 years, thousands of dollars to become a citizen. And I think once they get over here and they get put through the rigors by ICE,
Mm-hmm.
they just throw up their hands and say, oh, the heck with it. I'm just going to disappear and hope that I can stay. Now, I just saw a very disturbing article on CNN's online website that came out on Tuesday, February the 4th.
Mm-hmm.
And the headline reads, El Salvador. Well, before I say that, when I heard about all these immigrants being railroaded on these planes, the first thing I'm wondering, well, are they going to, I'm sure all these 500 and 600 people don't necessarily go to the same country. And I sort of suspected that what Trump is doing is just corralling hundreds of residents, immigrants, and sending them to whatever country will accept them for a fee.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, this headline reads, El Salvador offers to house violent U.S. criminals and deportees of any nationality in an unprecedented deal.
Okay.
And he says they are willing to take in only convicted criminals, the worst of convicted criminals, into their mega prison, which houses 40,000 people for a fee. So I really suspect that that's how he's railroading all of these people out of the country. He tried to send some folks over to Colombia, and the head of that government rejected them until, Trump with his bully politics offered to hit them with a bunch of tariffs, and then they agreed. But I really think there's money being exchanged.
Oh, of course, it has to be.
Now the other thing, when it comes to DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion,
Mm-hmm.
are you all aware that there's an upcoming nationwide economic blackout plan for Friday, February the 28th, in response to what Trump is trying to do to destroy DEI initiatives?
That's not going to happen.
What? You don't think the boycott's going to happen?
I don't think at that level it's going to happen. Although I'm hearing that Target is rather empty and allegedly empty, and the stores are down. An economic blackout nationwide.
Yes.
Okay.
I
That means in order to get that done,
Yes.
total unity across the country.
Yeah, you got that right.
People not going to the store at all.
Well, they say online or brick and mortar stores, just boycott everybody
Okay.
and only purchase
Okay. They
things
don't.
that are absolutely essential.
All right. There you go. They don't mind us talking about that. But what are they going to do? See, the thing is, they don't mind us screaming.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one day is not enough to get their attention.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't think my main concern, which I'm sure is your concern as well, is whether we can show that kind of unity.
There's the problem.
Because our folks spend a whole lot of money.
We spend more than most.
Yeah. When I look at the price of these concert tickets, $200, $300, $400.
Yeah, that's
and you're
cheap, though.
sold
More
out.
than that,
And
go
I
up higher.
tell people,
Is it?
I tell people the only one that I would pay that kind of money to see would be Jesus Christ. I
Live.
can guarantee you, if he was appearing somewhere, he wouldn't be charging.
With the angelic band.
That's right.
Good to hear from you, Beth.
But I've been passing the word around, and I'm just hoping and praying my people will, put forth a show of force. Because I think they called for 24 hours, because I don't think they can expect us to hold out for any more
I
than that.
hadn't heard about that, but I'll look into it.
Well, I sent you and Pastor Nick an email
Okay.
earlier this morning.
Okay.
And it has, some of the details and also a link to an article on Newsweek's online publication that, gives more specific details. But I just figure, hey, it's worth sharing with people
Yeah.
and encouraging people to, join the movement.
Thank you, Beth.
All right.
Talk to you now.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
866-743-8267. We've got about 8 minutes left. We're going to Anthony from Millville. Good morning, Anthony.
Morning.
We got a little problem. Anthony, are you there?
Yes, sir.
How you doing this morning?
I am blessed and highly favored because of you. How about that?
Well, welcome to On Point. We're blessed that you called us today.
Okay, first thing I want to do is I want to thank you for the souls that you saved on this earth, because as we all know, as I'm looking around, these are the days and times, and people don't realize really what's really happening around this world with this DI and, you know, these wars and everything. You know, it's all written.
Yeah.
And when we talk about, when they use that term woke, you know, woke just means for you to be able to be conscious and open up your eyes and see what's going on around you.
That's all it meant.
So they don't want us to be woke, because when we realize what's really going on, about time we all realize it, it's too late. But it's already too late, because we know that this is not our kingdom. And it is, I don't know how I could thank you for you personally baptizing me and my children
God bless you,
many
man.
years ago and saving us. Even though, you know, we all fall short, you know, you have been an inspiration to so many people. And this forum right here, every morning, you know, I'm in my office at work, and I'll mess around and scroll through, and I'll see you guys and I'll listen. But I said, I just need to call in and thank you, because, you know, a lot of people don't understand what's really going on when they talk about Make America Great again. Is what we're doing is they're taking us back to a time when America was great, not for us.
That's right.
And it's going to come that way. You know, this was indigenous land. We all know it. You know, I asked my daughter the other day, what did she learn, you know, about black history in school today, and she said nothing. So they're not teaching these children anything. They're taking away the board education. They're taking away free lunches. You know, they're taking away so many programs so they can keep us controlled. Now, they'll give some few some money as long as they do what they ask. But as soon as they rebel, like some of these big, you know, rap stars and everything, next thing you know, they all jammed up with stuff, some stuff, you know, and the media, as we all know, they only put out there what they want us to know. And I just wanted to just call and thank you for that, man.
Appreciate it, man.
I appreciate you guys and everything that y'all do for this earth.
How's the family doing?
Well, for my midlife crisis, I had, you know, at 50, I had a baby, so so I can't do that, you know.
You back in the game, brother. You back in the game.
Yeah, God is good, because you know, for me, the struggle is a reward for me.
Yeah.
You know, some people, they have things handed to them. You know, I grew up homeless in the city of Camden, and now I run a $4 million a year business.
Wonderful.
So God has always been good to me, but I had to realize how good he was through my suffering, because all I did pray for all my life when I was homeless was wisdom and wisdom and wisdom. And now it's like, it seemed like it's a blessing and a curse, because I always seem to have the right answer.
Sure.
But I can never follow my own direction.
Yeah. But that's wisdom, though. Wisdom leads us. Wisdom will always lead us. And wisdom will always rescue us. So it's the Bible says, in all you get understanding, and that wisdom is the principal thing. When you read your word, you're reading a book of wisdom. What God knows revealed to us, so we can use it to live our lives every day. So it's just an amazing way that God gets his mind into our lives. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, it does. And I wish that more people around the world would see that. But like I said, as we know, he was cast down here for a reason. I remember the one Easter sermon many years ago, you know, and you put on some powerful ones, but this one right here was moving. Whereas though that you talked about how Satan was cast down from heaven. And I'll never forget the phrase that you said. He took and said, when the angels went to go back up to go fight, because they said we can go back up and take the kingdom, and Satan looked at them and said, well, this is our kingdom. And every day that we wake up and we see these murders and we see these deaths and these rapes and this starvation and everything that's going on around, it's like, you know, people need to understand these are the days and times.
Yep, absolutely.
And I remember when I was little, my mom used to say something about the mark of the beast.
Yep.
Well, that mark is in our cell phone. We are tracked with everything we do.
Yeah. Good to hear from you, man. Kiss
I wanna-
that baby for me.
Oh, yeah, I will. Thank you so much, okay?
All right, talk to you
Take
next
care, man.
time.
See you.
All right, God bless, brothers.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Well, we're coming up on the end of another program. Of course, we love for you to join us tomorrow at 11 a.m. live in the sanctuary here in Lindenwold, New Jersey. We have an 8 a.m. virtual service, but you want to dislodge yourself from that sofa and come on and see us live at 11. There's nothing like it. The experience is amazing. We have been in a series on prayer, and it is absolutely empowering God's people, and people are talking about the answers to prayer that are coming through the testimonies that we're getting, the amazing moves of God that you know absolutely must be God. You want to be a part of what's happening here at Bethany Church. We are the Transformation Church. This is the Transform Nation. Amen. Our Harvest Bookstore is open today. If you're interested in receiving Bethany News updates, you want to know what's going on, you text BBC News to 28950. If you want to get some devotional messages, some inspiration during the week, BBC Elevate to 28950. So you want to get some news updates, BBC News to 28950. You want to get lifted up by some inspiration, BBC Elevate to 28950. We would love to pray with you. Send your prayer requests to prayer@go2bethany.com. prayer@go2bethany.com. We want you to subscribe to David G. Evans 1 and BBC of NJ. And we also want you to subscribe to our podcast platforms, DGEMS and On Point. We need you to like us. Even when you're watching a service, we need you to like us. Get us into the thousands so we can impact that algorithm so others can be exposed to the ministry. For Pastor Nicholas A. Smith. I almost called you Bishop Smith. I'm Bishop Dave G.
Yes,
Evans.
you are.
Remember, faith acts like a thing is so, even when it's not so, that it might be so. God bless you. I'll see you tomorrow. We're going to praise the Lord together.
Yeah.
We're going to learn how to break through to heaven, get heaven to respond. Stay strong and stay saved. And we'll see you next time.